This video is called a warning, but not the kind that shakes you awake with thunder. It is a softer warning, one that almost whispers, one that arrives exactly when you were meant to hear it. You did not stumble here by mistake. Out of all the noise, all the distractions, all the endless things pulling at your attention, you pressed play on these words. That alone is enough to tell you something is moving behind the curtain of your life. Something has been shifting quietly, and now it is being revealed in front of you. You've been sensing unease, haven't you? A strange heaviness that doesn't match what's happening on the surface. People around you may not notice, but you do. You've felt moments of tension you couldn't explain. You've woken up in the morning with thoughts that didn't feel like your own, like you were already carrying a weight before the day even began. You've seen faces smile at you while your heart told you to be cautious. These are not accidents, these are signals, and the reason you're here right now is because the signals have been growing stronger, and the moment to listen is now. There is a danger in the unseen, a trap laid out not with obvious chains but with quiet snares that blend into your path. Sometimes those traps come disguised as opportunities. Sometimes they come wrapped in promises that feel almost too good to question. And sometimes they show up through people who smile at you while holding plans that don't align with your well-being. You've been brushing it off, trying not to sound paranoid, but your spirit already knows. You can't afford to ignore it any longer. This is not a message meant to frighten you. It is a message meant to sharpen you. If you click away now, you may silence the very confirmation you've been waiting for. You may miss the truth that could give you the clarity to step around what has been arranged in your way. If you scroll away now, you walk back into your life without the light that was meant to guide your next steps. You have a choice here. You can treat this like just another video, or you can pause, open your heart, and receive this as the appointed moment it is. If your spirit is stirring already, if you feel these words pressing at something real inside you, I want you to mark this moment. Write 111, 444, or 777 in the comments as your signal back to the universe, back to the higher forces at work, that you are awake, aware, and refusing to walk blind. These numbers are not empty. They are alignment. They are you declaring, I am listening. And while you're here, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. Not because this channel needs a number, but because your journey needs reminders. You cannot risk missing the words that are timed for your soul. The same way this message has arrived in your hands at the exact second you needed it, so will the ones that follow. Let this be the space you return to when everything outside is uncertain. I know the battles you've been carrying. You've been smiling for others while hiding your suspicion that something has been working against you. You've wondered why certain plans crumble no matter how much effort you put in. You've questioned why people who seemed genuine left you drained instead of filled. These are not coincidences. These are the marks of traps, carefully set, hoping to catch you unaware. But you are not unaware. You are not unguarded. You are here. And this moment is proof that something greater is watching over your steps, whispering to you before you walk into danger. The beauty of a warning is that it comes before the fall. And that is what this introduction is. A reminder that your intuition is sharp, that you are being guided, that nothing formed against you has the right to succeed as long as you stay awake. This is not the time to dismiss your unease. This is not the time to doubt your inner compass. This is the time to listen deeply, to prepare, to remember that not everything that glitters is safe to touch. So breathe. Let your shoulders loosen. Let the noise of fear settle and the clarity of truth rise. You are about to be shown what has been hidden, but more importantly, you are about to be reminded of the strength you already carry to step past every snare. You are not helpless. You are not at the mercy of unseen traps. You are being guided, sharpened, and prepared. Stay with me until the end, because what comes next will not just alert you, it will equip you. What you're about to hear may save you from a path you were about to walk blindly. What you're about to learn may be the very shift that keeps you aligned with your destiny. Do not miss this. You are here for a reason, and what comes next will change how you see everything. Lately, you felt something heavy pressing on you, though you couldn't quite explain it. It hasn't always looked like a disaster on the outside. To others, your life may seem normal, even calm, but inside, you've been carrying an unspoken burden. You've been walking with a sense that something is off, that unseen forces are shifting around you. At times, it feels like you're being watched, like pieces are being moved behind the curtain of your everyday life. That unease is not random. It is the first whisper of warning. These feelings often show up before the trap is revealed. The body knows what the mind cannot yet explain. You may have noticed sleepless nights where your thoughts circle endlessly. You may have felt drained in the company of people who once made you feel comfortable. You've started to sense tension in conversations that used to flow easily. All of these are signs of something preparing to unfold, and your inner world is alerting you before your outer world catches up. It's confusing when this begins, because there is no clear evidence. You start to doubt yourself. You wonder if you're imagining things, if maybe you're just tired or too sensitive. But chosen lives are sensitive for a reason. Sensitivity is protection. It is the silent alarm that begins to ring before harm gets close. The heaviness you've been carrying is that alarm. It may not be loud, but it is steady. This is why confusion has been surrounding you. One moment you feel sure of yourself, the next you're questioning every step. This is not weakness. This is the spiritual equivalent of walking through fog before dawn. The road hasn't changed, but your sight is limited, and so every step feels uncertain. This uncertainty is part of the process. It slows you down so you don't run headfirst into something designed to trip you. Think of it as walking on soil just before a seed rises. The ground looks calm, but beneath it there is struggle, movement, pressure. You're in that moment now. The weight you've been carrying is not proof that you are failing. It is proof that something beneath the surface is alive. The unease you feel is the soil splitting, making way for something greater to emerge. But before the greater comes, there is always resistance. Traps are laid to catch you before you cross into new ground. That's why the pressure feels sharp right now. You're not imagining it. The discomfort is real. The invisible battle is real. And the reason it feels personal is because it is. What you carry within you is valuable. And anything valuable attracts both protection and attack. Still, you are not defenseless. The heaviness you feel is not meant to crush you. It is meant to alert you. It is the sign that you're closer to breakthrough than you think. The early whispers of awakening always come with discomfort. They unsettle you on purpose, because without discomfort, you wouldn't pause long enough to pay attention. So, if you've been questioning why your emotions have been unpredictable, why you've been more withdrawn than usual, why the things that once distracted you no longer satisfy, understand this. You are not breaking down. You are being awakened. The strange weight you carry is not random stress. It is the evidence of a deeper calling and the signal that you are approaching the edge of something that will shift your path forever. Stay with these words, because the unease is not the end. It is the beginning. It is the first flicker of light cutting through the fog, the first sign that what has been hidden is about to be exposed. And if you can hold steady now, you will step past the trap and into the place you were always meant to reach. From the very beginning, you've carried something that set you apart. Long before you had words for it, you could sense things others couldn't. As a child, you picked up on moods in the room without anyone telling you what was wrong. You noticed the heaviness in someone's eyes even when they forced a smile. You felt the shift in the air when tension entered, and you carried that awareness like a secret no one else seemed to recognize. This sensitivity was both a gift and a burden. On one hand, it made you compassionate. You knew when someone was hurting even before they admitted it. And you often reached out quietly, offering comfort in ways that seemed natural to you. On the other hand, it made you feel out of place. You didn't understand why no one else seemed to see what you saw. You wondered why the things that moved you so deeply hardly affected others at all. There were times you were misunderstood because of it. Adults may have called you too sensitive or too dramatic, not realizing that you were tuned to frequencies they couldn't hear. Other children may have teased you for being different, for not fitting in with the noise and carelessness of their world. What they didn't know was that your spirit was awake in ways theirs was not. Imagine yourself as a child holding a lantern in a forest at night. The trees are tall, the path is unclear, and everyone else seems content to stumble in the dark. But in your hand there is a light, small but steady. That was you. You couldn't explain why you carried it, but you did. And even then, without knowing it, you were protecting yourself and others from stumbling over unseen dangers. That light within you never went away. Even if you tried to bury it to fit in, it always resurfaced. You may remember moments where you silenced yourself, ignored your intuition, or pretended not to notice what you felt so strongly. But the awareness only grew louder. The older you became, the more you realized you couldn't turn it off. You were not meant to. This is why you've often felt misunderstood. People didn't know how to handle someone who saw beneath the surface. Your very presence made them uncomfortable, because without trying, you revealed truths they weren't ready to face. And so you learned to question yourself. You wondered if something was wrong with you. But what felt like a flaw was actually preparation. That deep sensitivity was the training ground for the intuition that now alerts you to unseen traps. Looking back, you can see it more clearly. You survived situations not because someone warned you, but because your spirit warned you. You avoided paths not because the evidence was obvious, but because you felt the unease before anyone else did. That gift was always with you, even when you didn't trust it. The early sensitivity you carried was never weakness. It was foresight. It was the whisper of guidance woven into your being from the start. And now, as you face the challenges of this season, it is that same awareness that will help you step safely past what has been set against you. The same lantern that burned in your hands as a child is still burning now. And though you may have wished it away at times, it is the very thing that will light your path through the darkness ahead. There have been countless moments when you've wondered if you've missed your chance. You've looked back at years that felt wasted, decisions you regret, opportunities that slipped away, and you've asked yourself if you've already lost the window for your true purpose. That fear has followed you like a shadow. The thought that maybe you're too late, that maybe you should have been further by now, that maybe life has already passed you by. But the truth is, timing has never been your enemy. What felt like delay was precision. What looked like wasted years were years of preparation. Life does not measure itself by the same calendar you see on the wall. The seasons of your growth have been aligned with patterns you could not see, with movements that required you to arrive at a specific moment, not a moment sooner and not a moment later. Think of the arrow in the bow. The longer it is pulled back, the more force it will have when it is released. That tension you felt, the stretching, the waiting, the feeling of being pulled in the opposite direction of your dreams, was never punishment. It was momentum being stored. And when the release comes, it will carry you farther than you ever imagined, precisely because of how long you were drawn back. You may have compared yourself to others, seeing their lives unfold faster, watching them reach milestones while you still waited. You thought you were behind, but the truth is, your path was never meant to look like theirs. What you are carrying requires a deeper foundation, and deeper foundations always take longer to build. Those quiet years when nothing seemed to move were the years when your roots were stretching far beneath the surface, anchoring you for what's coming next. It is easy to feel bitterness toward time, but time has been working in your favor. Every heartbreak has carved out more space for wisdom. Every closed door has redirected you toward the path that actually belongs to you. Every silence has sharpened your ability to listen, not just to the noise around you, but to the subtle signals within you. Viktor Frankl once wrote that life is never made unbearable by circumstances, but only by lack of meaning and purpose. The seasons you thought were wasted were the seasons teaching you meaning. They forced you to ask the harder questions, to wrestle with what actually matters, to let go of shallow pursuits so that when the real calling came, you would be able to recognize it. Midlife is not proof that you are late. It is proof that you have survived long enough to carry wisdom most people never reach. It is the moment when your story finally makes sense, when the threads of your past weave together into a pattern you couldn't see before. You are not behind schedule. You are right on time, walking into the very alignment that required everything you've endured to prepare you. So release the fear that you have missed it. Release the regret of years you thought were lost. Nothing was wasted. The hidden timing of your life has been moving with precision, and now it is turning in your favor. What is meant for you is not gone. It is waiting for you to step into it, exactly in this season, with exactly the strength you carry now. You are not too late. You are exactly on time. There comes a point when everything around you begins to fade into stillness. The people you leaned on drift away. The conversations that once filled your days grow quiet. The plans that once gave you energy lose their pull. At first it feels like abandonment, as though life itself has left you standing in the middle of a barren field. But this is not abandonment, it is preparation. Isolation often feels like punishment, but in truth, it is a sacred classroom. It strips away the distractions so that only what is essential remains. It pulls you out of the noise so that you can finally hear what has been whispering to you all along. In the silence, you discover the parts of yourself that were buried under everyone else's voices. In the stillness, you come face to face with your own reflection, and though it feels uncomfortable at first, it is the beginning of transformation. Think of the cocoon. To the outside world, it looks lifeless. The caterpillar disappears, hidden away, cut off from the open air. But inside, in the silence, wings are forming. What looks like an ending is actually the most critical stage of becoming. The same is true for you. This pause in your life, this quiet season that feels so unnatural, is the cocoon of your destiny. Or think of the desert. Nothing seems to grow there. The air feels dry. The nights feel endless. The days are long. Yet the desert has always been a place of preparation. It empties you of dependence on the familiar. It breaks the illusion that you need constant movement to have value. In the desert, you discover strength you didn't know you had. You find water where you thought there was none. You learn to walk by trust, not by sight. This is why so many doors have closed on you. This is why people you thought would be with you forever have gone silent. This is why opportunities you prayed for suddenly disappeared. You weren't being punished, you were being hidden. The cocoon must stay closed until the wings are strong enough. The desert must stretch long enough for you to shed what cannot survive in the next chapter. In isolation, you are being refined. Your patience is being deepened. Your discernment is being sharpened. Your resilience is being tested and strengthened. It is not glamorous. No one claps for you here. But this is the ground where greatness grows, where clarity takes root, where destiny solidifies. So don't despise the silence. Don't rush to escape it by clinging to old patterns just to feel busy. Don't assume the stillness means you've been forgotten. You are not forgotten. You are being prepared. Every moment of solitude is building the foundation for the next season of your life. Because when this season ends, it will not end gradually. It will break open suddenly. The cocoon will split, and you will rise with wings that no one saw forming. The desert will flood, and you will find yourself standing in a place of abundance you couldn't imagine during the drought. The silence will shatter, and your voice will carry more weight because it was forged in the years when you had no one but yourself to hear it. This is the purpose of isolation. It feels empty, but it is full. It feels slow, but it is exact. It feels like loss, but it is transformation. And when you step out of it, you will see that the silence was never wasted. It was the most important preparation of all. You've noticed it your whole life, the way some people change when you walk into the room. You didn't do anything to provoke them. You didn't raise your voice or act in a way that should spark tension. And yet, without trying, you've triggered something in them. It leaves you wondering what you did wrong, when in truth, you did nothing at all. What they feel when they're around you is not about you, it's about them. Chosen lives carry a kind of presence that unsettles those who aren't ready to face themselves. Your very existence reflects back to people the truth they'd rather avoid. For some, this feels liberating. For others, it feels threatening. You have been both deeply admired and deeply misunderstood, and often by the very same people. This is why rejection has been so familiar to you. Doors have closed in your face without explanation. Friendships have shifted suddenly, leaving you confused. At times, you've been labeled arrogant when you were only confident, or distant when you were simply discerning. What people saw in you was filtered through what they couldn't yet accept in themselves. Think of yourself as a mirror, not a mirror you chose to hold, but one that naturally exists in your presence. When people look at you, they catch a glimpse of who they are and who they are not. Some are inspired to grow. Others are confronted by their own denial. If they're not ready to see clearly, they will turn away from you, even if you've shown them nothing but kindness. It is painful when this happens. You've wondered why love wasn't enough, why your loyalty wasn't returned, why people pulled back the closer you drew. But you must understand, the distance they created wasn't a verdict on your worth. It was evidence of their unreadiness. Not everyone can stand before a mirror without flinching. This is also why jealousy has followed you quietly. You've carried an ease in certain areas that others had to fight for, and they resented it. You've carried a resilience that made people uncomfortable because it revealed their fragility. Without meaning to, you've reminded them of what they're not yet willing to face. And so instead of honoring you, some chose to resist you. The loneliness you felt because of this is real. It's heavy to walk through life misunderstood, to constantly wonder if you're the problem when all you've done is stand in your truth. But the truth is, the problem was never your existence. It was the reflection your existence cast. The good news is that this mirror doesn't just repel, it also attracts. The ones meant for you, the ones strong enough to look into the reflection and embrace it, will be drawn to you in ways that feel effortless. They will see your presence not as a threat, but as a home. They will stay, not because you dimmed your light, but because they're ready to rise in it. So when others walk away, let them. When people misunderstand you, release them. You were never called to twist yourself into a shape that would make everyone comfortable. You were called to carry the light as it is, steady and unapologetic. The right ones will stand with you, the rest will fade. And in that, you'll learn that rejection was not loss, it was protection. It was life clearing the room so the ones who truly belong could find their way to you. Deep down, you've always known there was something guiding you. It wasn't loud or dramatic. It didn't come with flashing signs or booming voices. It came as a gentle pull, a whisper in your chest, a nudge that told you to pause when everything around you screamed to rush forward. This compass has been with you since the beginning, even in the times you doubted it, even when you thought you had lost your way. You've ignored it before, haven't you? You've taken paths that looked good on the surface, paths others applauded, paths that seemed logical. And yet, a heaviness followed you. Something inside whispered that you had stepped off course. Each time you silenced it, you felt the cost. And yet, even in those detours, the compass never abandoned you. It kept pulling quietly until you turned back to listen. This inner compass shows up in strange ways. Sometimes it's the sudden unease you feel in someone's presence. Sometimes it's the small spark of peace when you think about a choice that seems impossible. Sometimes it's the dream that lingers after you wake, carrying a message you can't shake. It doesn't argue. It doesn't force. It simply waits for you to trust it again. Picture yourself in a dark forest. The path is hidden. The trees stretch high above you, and the night feels endless. In your hand, you hold a small thread that glows faintly. It doesn't show you the entire journey. It only gives you enough light to take the next step. That thread is your intuition. That is the compass within you. It will not map the entire road, but it will always lead you where you need to go, step by step, if you keep holding it. The world has tried to convince you to ignore it. You were told to trust evidence more than instinct, to silence your feelings, to rely only on what can be measured and proven. But you are not wired to walk like everyone else. You are wired to sense, to notice, to trust what others overlook. Your path is not built on proof. It is built on alignment. And alignment cannot be explained. It can only be felt. Even in your hardest seasons, when you thought you were wandering aimlessly, that compass was working. It rerouted you when you fell. It softened the blow of doors that closed suddenly. It guided you away from traps you didn't even know were there. Looking back, you can see it now. The jobs you didn't get, the friendships that ended, the opportunities that slipped away. At the time, they felt like rejection, but they were redirections, your compass keeping you safe. This is why you must return to trust. Trust yourself again. Trust that you were created with the ability to sense danger before it arrives, to feel truth before it's spoken, to recognize the right door, even if it looks different from what you expected. Your body knows. Your spirit knows. The compass has never left you. The more you quiet the noise, the clearer it becomes. Take time to pause, breathe. Listen to the tension or the peace that rises in you when you think about your next step. Peace is permission. Heaviness is a warning. If you learn to honor that difference, you will not walk blindly into the trap set for you. You will step with clarity, with confidence, with alignment. So remember, the compass within you is not broken. You may have doubted it, silenced it, even forgotten it, but it never abandoned you. It has been waiting, steady and patient, for you to trust it again. And as you move forward into the unexpected shifts of your life, that inner guidance will not just protect you, it will lead you into the very places where your destiny has been waiting all along. There comes a time when life begins to pull certain people forward before others. It's not a matter of luck, and it's not a matter of chance. It is a recall, a summoning, a moment when everything inside you and everything around you begins to shift. You've likely felt it already. The things that once held your interest no longer satisfy. The spaces that once felt comfortable now feel too small. The conversations that once gave you energy now leave you restless. This is the signal that your season in those places has ended. The recall rarely comes gently. It often shows up as endings you didn't expect. People you thought would walk with you pull away. Opportunities you worked hard for suddenly vanish. Routines that once felt steady begin to unravel. At first, it feels like chaos. You wonder why the ground under your feet is breaking apart. But the truth is, the ground isn't collapsing. It's shifting, making room for the new foundation being built under you. Some will not understand this shift. They'll ask why you've changed, why you no longer fit in the same mold, why you seem distant. They may even accuse you of being ungrateful or cold. But the truth is, when life recalls you, you cannot remain where you are. To stay would be to shrink. To stay would be to betray your own becoming. Not everyone will hear the same call at the same time. Some will remain where they are, and that's their path. But yours is different. Yours is now. Imagine gates opening in the sky, swinging wide as if they have been waiting for this precise moment. Imagine ships in the harbor, ropes being loosed, sails catching the wind, ready to leave the shore. This is the imagery of the recall. Sudden movement, long prepared, now unstoppable. The old chapter has closed itself. The new one is demanding your attention. It hurts, doesn't it? Because to step forward, you have to let go. You have to grieve relationships that no longer align, dreams that no longer fit, versions of yourself that no longer serve you. It feels like loss, but it is not. It is release. You are shedding what cannot follow you into the place you are being called. The grief is real, but so is the growth. You've already sensed it in your dreams, in the strange coincidences, in the whispers that come when you're quiet. Something has been nudging you, reminding you that you are not where you're meant to stay. You may have resisted it, tried to hold on to the familiar, but the pull has only grown stronger. That's because the recall isn't just an invitation, it's an appointment. And when it comes, you cannot deny it. The moment of recall is not about abandoning everything. It's about aligning with what has been waiting for you all along. The doors that are closing are not taking anything from you that belongs in your future. What is yours will remain. What is yours will reappear. What is yours will meet you on the other side. So don't be afraid of the shift. Don't cling to what's slipping away. Trust that the same force recalling you is also preparing the place you're being recalled to. You are stepping into the reason you've carried the weight, walked through the silence, endured the isolation, and held on to hope. This is the threshold. The recall has begun, and your name is on it. You've walked through unease, through silence, through endings you never expected. You've carried the weight of isolation, the sting of rejection, the burden of sensitivity that often made you feel alone. And yet, every step, every pause, every tear has been part of the shaping. Nothing was wasted. Not the years that felt empty, not the relationships that fell apart, not the doors that closed when you thought they should have opened. All of it has been weaving you into the person you are now, ready, aware, aligned. The traps that were set for you were never meant to succeed. The warning you felt in your body, the strange heaviness in your spirit, the intuition that pulled at you, those were the signs of protection moving on your behalf. You were not left vulnerable. You were being alerted, sharpened, prepared to step past what could have harmed you. What was designed to trip you has already been turned into proof that you cannot be stopped. This is the moment to mark your readiness. If your spirit is stirring, declare it now by commenting 1111 or 333. Let it be your way of saying, I see the shift. I am listening. I am ready. These numbers are not just digits. They are your reminder that alignment is real, that timing is precise, that you are walking in step with something greater than chance. And while you're here, don't forget to subscribe and stay connected. Not because this space needs more noise, but because you need a place that will remind you when life grows heavy. You need a voice that calls you back to center, back to clarity, back to the truth of who you are when the world tries to make you forget. This space is meant to be that for you. You've reached the end of this message, but not the end of your journey. The recall has begun. The doors are opening. The weight you've been carrying is lifting because it served its purpose. The silence is breaking because you've been trained to hear in the quiet. The traps are being revealed because you've learned how to step carefully and trust the compass within you. So walk forward now with confidence. Trust the sensitivity that has always guided you. Honor the timing that has brought you here. Release the old chapters without regret, knowing they shaped you into someone strong enough to carry what's ahead. You don't need to chase what you've lost. You only need to stay open for what's arriving. Whenever life feels uncertain, remember this: you are not late, you are not forgotten, you are not powerless. You are exactly where you are meant to be, standing at the threshold of a season already heavy with glory. And when it unfolds, you'll see that the warning wasn't just about traps. It was about alignment, protection, and preparation for the extraordinary that is breaking open now. Whenever the world feels too heavy, whenever your spirit grows weary, come back here. Let these words remind you that you were never walking alone. This space will always be waiting, ready to hold you, ready to speak life back into your heart. Chosen soul, the path ahead is clear. Step into it with courage. The traps are behind you, the recall is before you, and the glory waiting on the other side has your name written into it.